What's going on, everyone? What's going on?
Hey, what's
Welcome
up,
to
Internet?
another. Yep,
Internet's in the house.
internet. Welcome to another episode of Carbonite Bounty BS with me and the nerds here, guys. How's everybody feeling this week? Good.
Good. Yeah,
Great.
back
Yeah.
at it.
Another two-parter here. So we'll go into our episode 14 review of Bad Batch and episode 4 review of The Mandalorian. But before we even jump into that stuff, let's let our guy DP let you guys know where to find us at.
Nerdcyclopedia.com, people, your favorite website. You will see all your favorite social media platforms on there: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also on TikTok. We are there at Nerdcyclopedia. Listen to our podcast on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. We are there. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, thank you. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification button. So anytime that we're on, you know that we're on. Also make sure that you're sharing our YouTube and everything to all your friends and family. If you're on Facebook, also thank you as well. Catch us on our Facebook group, Carbonate Bound and BS, where we BS about everything that's Star Wars related. So it's also a beautiful thing. Also, make sure that you are leaving us some feedback on nerds@nerdcyclopedia.com. We love getting all your feedback and everything related to you as far as Star Wars is concerned. Bow, 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 bow.
Mm. Perfect for the end of these episodes, and yeah, guys, I guess we'll delve into our initial reactions. I'll start with Ken first because we talked off air about it, and he seems to be, it's like this. It's good to get the light in the dark, right? Anytime we're done with Star Wars, so we'll start with Ken, and we'll get that positive vibe, so to
Yeah,
speak.
let's start with the positive. So, Mandalorian, the Foundling, great episode. I do have one big comment I want to make. So, I get the coverts, these Mandalorian, they're trying to, they're trying to keep themselves secluded on this planet, um, some distant planet unknown of in the Outer Rim. Um, Man, I would definitely change my address because they have no way to deal with the habitat on this planet. I mean, they have had nothing but trouble with the local citizens on this planet, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
in this episode, basically focused around Grogu. So we're getting a little more of his backstory, and and delving into the new bond. Like, I mean, we're really learning this as a fan myself. I wasn't real privy to the whole Mandalorian background, but I'm getting it now. I'm getting this whole, like, very tribal, this creed, this sort of stay together. I mean, the opening scene is them training. This is how they train. They blast their weapons off into the water. They fight each other. And just a side note, if I see the judge's helmet available anywhere, I'm going to buy it because that guy's legit. Just saying. But great episode, the way it developed and how it really smoothly turned into a Grogu flashback. Really liked that scene where we got to see what happened after the Jedi's died, because we saw just this quick flash image of his memory of clone troopers busting through the door and attacking Grogu's protectors. Now we see what happened afterwards. Caloran,
PTSD.
yep, Jedi Caloran, like that was he's now the savior, which oddly enough is Jar Jar Binks. And where does Jar Jar take Grogu but to a Naboo starfighter? Very nicely woven together of Filoni and Favreau to, like, weld those two storylines together. I liked it. And then back to reality. So Grogu then gets a little face to face with the armorer, and there's a little more development there. So I wasn't a real big Grogu fan, honestly. Like, I can have him or leave him, But now I'm starting to see where he's going to be a player. He accomplished his first task. I mean, he beat that kid Well, we don't know who that kid is yet, but he beat him, and it was a nice like Luke showed him that, right? It was the Jedi. It was from Return of the Jedi when he did the backflip off a Jabba's skiff ship. That was the move that he because Bo was like, "Did you teach him that?" No, I didn't. Someone else did. So very nice that they're building these. They're pulling these episodes together. I liked the whole thing. It was short, but that was okay because it was jam packed with great stuff. And I have to end my reaction. I'm a big Paz Vizsla fan at this point because he's like dad. He's like uber dad, and I like that guy. Again, if I see his helmet available somewhere, so I would buy it. So that's those are two call outs to Disney to make.
Ken, I think Paz Vizsla is available somewhere.
Well, send me the link because I'm going to buy that some bitch.
Yeah,
and I'll wear it. But great episode. I don't think there's really anything bad about it. But like I said, these guys definitely need to find a different planet to live on because they have nothing but trouble with the local habitat.
What about you, DP?
Yeah, the episode was pretty decent. We had some PTSD from Grogu when the hammer started striking and everything, and him getting the flashbacks and stuff. And yeah, so we get a tie-in to Ahmed Best, aka the voice of Jar Jar. So I thought that was a pretty decent redemption, or on his road to redemption as far as like an actor and everything. Since he got so much criticism for Jar Jar's character and everything, probably undeservedly. But I thought it was a really great way for them to tie that into the whole Star Wars or him actually being a Jedi. So that was pretty cool to see. It was just cool to see the whole clone troopers and everything. I noticed on the credits we had Tamir Morrison, voicing the clones and everything. So I thought, okay, hey, way to tie everything in. On the animated stuff, you always have was it D Brown Bailey or something like that? I forgot his name. But he does all the clones, for the animated stuff. But I'm glad to see that every time they have clone related stuff, they always bring in Tamir Morrison to keep everything in sync. It's weird with that planet that they're on, or the island or whatever that they're at. Where's everybody? Where does everybody sleep? Where does everybody, where? Because it's a lot of them. It's a lot of Mandalorian there. So I know they. Maybe some different shafts in the cave that we don't know, and they just come out whenever there's sunlight. I mean, it's and come out to train or whatever. It's really weird, seeing everybody just congregated in just that one spot to do stuff. You would think they would spread all about, but I mean, it is what it is. That creature that took the boy, that was real interesting, and how they ran out of juice, as they went to rescue, try to rescue the boy, from the creature and everything, but all of a sudden still had jetpack energy once they got there. So I was sort of confused on how did they get there, if they ran out of jetpack fuel or whatever, how did they get more back? So, but I mean, other than that, the episode was pretty decent. It was short, like I was saying off mic and everything. I think that it would have just been, just a meh episode if it wasn't for the fact that we had such a good episode of the Bad Batch to follow that up after we watched it. So, nice little small Grogu origin or back, flashback for him. But overall, it was a good episode.
Yeah, and I guess this is where I come in and be the bad guy, right? Which is fine. It's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with the show at all. I love it, but I have to be, I give DP stick all the time, so I have to be even-handed on the Marvel side, and I just felt like this was it was cheap to me. Like, you can't give me 30 minutes. You guys have had an extra 8 months to rewrite stuff and to change things. I mean, and then Andor's giving you the blueprint. I'm not asking for an hour episode, but Andor showed you that you can give content for an hour that's not even really related to this. So, yeah, I'll be the hater. Somebody got to be because somebody has to keep them accountable. It's just one of those things. I expect more more content, for what we get. I mean, what people pay for. Um, and it kind of ties into Disney as a whole. It's really dark times. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware. In a month or so, we're gonna lose 5,000 jobs. If you don't think that's going to affect projects that we like and we are working on, there's going to be a huge knock-on effect. They're cutting costs and production on the movie side, the video side. All facades of Disney are changing next month. So good and bad. But yeah, I expected a lot more. And then on the flip side of Bad Batch, before we get into that stuff as well, like to me, it's too little, too late. It's a great episode, but it's just like you gave us like hints, right? It's like somebody trying to light a fire with a flint. You keep like that spark, but it just never really went. So it's a good show, but it just missed the point for me because there were too many like filler episodes that were just these side quests that didn't tie into this like really, really, really in-depth story we could have got with Echo and with Crosshair and everybody else like that. And I just feel like with these last two-parter finale that they're going to try to rescue a season to where they could have just made more sense of the cloning and all that stuff and really took that and ran with it. So all in all, great episodes, but I just, being nitpicky, I expected a little more.
Well, did you want more missions? Did you want more? Did you want to
Not
see more
necessarily.
character?
I
Because you
just
got
need
a
more
big.
development of the story because I mean, really, the whole story is about Omega, right? And we get the story now, like episode 9 or 10. So realistically, where were we at for the other, other than this Sid thing, right? So we just like you notice the show they kind of like throw things to the side. So we're throwing Sid to the side now. We're focused on the cloning facility. Like
Right.
it's just kind of too scattered
All
for
right, so
me.
you're saying the Bad Batch season, this second season,
Oh
is
yeah,
falling
yeah.
short, but Mandalorian, I mean,
No,
where
Mandalorian's great. It's just my
okay,
gripe is just it's too short. It's just
it's
I
too short.
He
expected. I
wants
wanted.
more.
I mean,
He
yeah, and
wants
it's
more.
not even. It's not even. I'm not asking an hour, but like another 15. Come on, man. Like 35, 40 minutes is not asking too
Yeah,
much.
so it was short. It was shorter than the other episodes that we're used to, but it had a lot in it. I mean,
It
there was a
did
lot of great stuff that
for sure.
you need to go back and like rewind and watch again.
Yeah,
So to me, it was okay. Like yes, it was short. It like all of a sudden when the armorer said this is the way to bo-katan, and she was like, what do you mean by that? And all of a sudden screen black.
right.
Like I wanted to see more. Maybe she would have questioned the armor, like what,
Yeah.
like gone
Yeah,
against her, like
I
sort of like,
mean,
hey,
yeah.
you're treating me like a child here, but I'm not.
yeah.
That's a big talking point that I wanted to get into. Like kind of like the first and DP. You'll probably lead with this. I didn't like that whole Bo-Katan and the armorer kind of exchange. It made her like super submissive, like the way she was talking to her like a child. You know what I mean?
Right. That's right.
Like,
That's what I
well,
mean. Like,
But that's
what
how
if you
she
saw
talks to
like
everyone, though.
like
yeah, she does. She talks down to
She
even
talks.
Paz,
Yeah,
But I
biggest
mean, like
dude.
Bo-Katan is like somebody different. I just expected her like she was so submissive. You know what I mean? Like, well, what if you saw like a mythosaur? Like that, her demeanor in that scene. For somebody who's like not really bitter, but a princess, royal, royal blood. I would expect her to kind of be a little bit more on her high horse and be like, what if you seen a mythosaur? I just felt that she was like submissive in the scene, which is kind of weird. I don't know if it was like did at the play her a little
Yeah,
bit,
I
but
think I think she's starting to see where she might fit in now
mhm.
because
right.
I think she was at a loss. Like we talked about it a lot last week. She was sitting on her throne, like work from home, leg up, not caring about anything. She didn't have a direction. She didn't have anything. She even said all of her followers had well, how did she word it? They dissolved, they
Yeah.
melted away, and now they were running amok. We don't even know where those guys are. They might meet the Bad Batch somewhere. Who knows? I don't know. But she was completely Ronin. She was all alone. She had nothing, and now she's got peeps. Like she's got people that are like respecting her and sort of looking up to her. And now after that, she was the war leader. Like I loved the
Yeah.
campfire scene. Like
Yeah.
that showed me as a fan that didn't know much about these people, how to, like, that's like what you asked, like, how do they eat? If they can't take their helmets off, how do they eat? Oh, well, once they get their food, they got to go find a place. And
Right.
and she was the one that was allowed to stay by the fire.
She was
Like,
a leader. She was a party leader.
she was the party leader. She was the world. So she's now got she's got a place. You know, everyone needs a place. I think if you don't have a place at work or a place in your family, you're kind of off.
Right.
And I think she sort of is discovering that she now has a purpose, and you know, but she's still, the armor is still talking down to her, which is interesting.
Yeah, she's trying to find her place. She's still trying to wrap her head around what she saw, you know.
Right.
And for her to reveal what she saw to the armor, you know, instead of the Mandalorian and everything, is a interesting, you know, point, because her and Mando have, like, you know, this relationship and stuff, you know, much tighter than what her and Armor has. But for her to reveal that to the armor, and then the armor will just respond like, okay, you don't know what you really saw, you know.
Yeah.
We, you know, Mandalorian, you being a Mandalorian, you can see anything or whatever, you know. And then she's like, yeah, I saw something, you know. And then I think she's halfway questioning herself a little bit. But I would have liked to see, I guess, to Tamisha's point, I would have liked to see more of a, we know how she is in the animated, you know, series,
Right.
and when we first saw her in live action and everything, she's a strong character and has like a sense of herself and everything. So for her not to respond in a more of a or more of a assertive way is sort
Right.
of like, okay, is she really lost? Is she really finding her way, like you say, Ken? You know, fitting in, you know, with this new Mandalorian tribe. I guess you can make this excuse that she has a lot coming at her. You know,
All
she's
different directions.
in all different directions and everything. So her trying to find her place and trying to find a head about herself, plus seeing this thing that she's not sure was real, but you know, no one else saw it but her, you know, and she has to let someone know that she's seen this thing. So she has to make, you know, hey, about, you know that too, you know. But it was, I would like to see more of that during the whole episode than
Right.
like you know, Grogu training and everything. The flashback was fine, but the whole go through like the whole Grogu training and especially coming off last week where it was just weird, where it seems like the season's sort of going all over the place with, you know,
Right.
us finding out, like, you know, things with the First Order and, you know, the origins of, you know, the you know, our D2 Coruscant and everything. What story do they really want to tell? You know, we're in episode 4, coming up on, like, you know, we're on a halfway mark of the season and everything. And for only them to chop it at 30 minutes and only give us that, I would have liked to see more of the Mandalorian, which is what I expected throughout this whole season, more of a Mandalore, you know, story to tell versus what they've been trying to tell with some of the different
I knew you'd come around, DP. I knew it would come. It would seep in you.
oh
I
boy,
knew it.
here we go.
Ah, no, you're right. I mean, it's what I've been saying. It's not a bad episode. I don't think anybody's knocking the content, but it's just the fact that we want more, and it makes it even more hard to take when you already know, like you're saying, there's enough content that they could have stretched it. They could have gave us more about that. We already know there's a season 4 in production, so why couldn't you then just put more into this and then worry about that later? Like, this is almost like, I don't want to, like, Fast and the Furiousy, you know, like you want to do. They already talked about it. We want to keep it going until the ratings hit, that the ratings start dropping. So this
Mhm.
isn't something that's going to slow down. So, like, I just feel like at this point, like you're saying, just take your time, you know, and keep developing that story that made people, like, you know, just the craving for each episode. I just feel like this one was good, but you want more, you know what I mean? But it just gives you that weird feeling, like you
Well,
start questioning, like, did we need Grogu? Did we didn't get enough Mandalore? When are we going back? We're halfway through. You start questioning things where I don't think I questioned anything in Andor.
Well,
no.
here's what I think, and I've just been deciding whether I want to go this way, but maybe this planet that they're on ain't working out. They need to get off here. They need to go off world. Go back to Mandalore.
Yeah.
And
Let's go back
rebuild.
to Mandalore. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And rebuild that. Now there's episode like 5, 6, 7. So move the covert off of this hostile world and get them back into their natural habitat. Bo-Katan's already going to have some say here, because she's been basically sitting on her throne over this planet for the past however long, but from an off world, because obviously the planet was destroyed, so she couldn't be there. So she may even say, "Hey, let's go here." And I don't even know what the name of the planet that she was on. What was that orb called? Because it was in orbit around Mandalore.
It was in the Mandalorian system, yeah.
So that could be the next. That could be the new home space.
Yeah, home planet, yeah.
Yeah.
And they could use the life water from Mandalore, ship it in, bottle it up, package it up, like make it a product, like a Pepsi product or something, and everybody, bathes in it and drinks it.
Yeah.
And they get the band back together. They get Mandalore back to what it was. I mean, I see that being I think that would be a huge win for the fans. I mean, I'd like to see that, because I like these people. I think they're solid. I think they have great intentions, and they have they have their emotions in check, so that they don't really get in fights with themselves. They're more like protecting their people. They don't fight amongst each other. Like we as people, we fight amongst each other like a lot. We have problems. They don't care whether someone's helmet is black, orange, green. They don't care what the person is. They just know that they're all together.
I was waiting for Boba Fett to show up. I'm like, okay, where is he amongst like everyone? Because they had all different types of.
And they accept everybody, and they don't care.
They do.
So diversity and acceptance.
DE&I.
It's a huge thing, right? It's something where we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to this point where everyone is accepting, and they can see that someone has a different look, a different whatever. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because they're all part of this group.
What are they going to do with those creatures? Like,
get off that planet.
Fly them as like some kind of, I don't know, like
they killed their mom and everything. They told the creatures, from the nest and stuff. Now we got some more foundlings to
yes, and they're going to train them like Rancor.
Yeah, they're going to like ride them and whatnot. Yeah, and use them
right. Yeah, they're going to like bond with them. They're going to like imprint on them, and then they're like theirs. So it's like now we got Game of Thrones going on with like dragons and
right.
riders and
I mean. That might be a little bit interesting. I was about to say the Star Wars animal rights folks and everything might be a little bit disappointed, but I can see the potential, Ken. I can see the potential.
I mean, how great is that? So the Mandalorians not only have like jetpacks and they can like fly, now they have dragons.
Yeah.
You control the dragons, you control the kingdom. This is the way.
Darth Vader's not going to be happy about that. Oh no, he's gone by this point. Kylo Ren's not going to be happy about that. No,
yeah. But no, I mean it is an interesting point. I mean, we're at the halfway point, and I think all leads do lead to Mandalore. I mean, keep in mind, like we say though, it's kind of jumpy because we still have to finish a quest on his bot, right? But we're halfway through, and we still have to figure out how to get this bot fixed in order to.
I forgot all about that.
They solved that with R5D4.
No, they're going to get that.
All he needed was an all he needed was a robot that could work in a hostile environment. That's it.
No, they're going to get
that. If that was the solution, that was a bad check.
Exactly.
Droid. You can't leave with that, then have that be your solution, and then go off somewhere else and everything. No, that's not great story writing.
No,
I mean, if it is, Ken, you're very forgiving with
I told you, man. Ken is one of those guys. He's a very, very forgiving,
Very,
very
very,
forgiving,
very forgiving in
very generous.
their
I
storytelling abilities and
I
everything.
can't. Well, what? Okay, so they went. So the part they needed was the microprocessor, the brain of the thing. That's no longer available. It's been discontinued by the manufacturer. What are you going to do? You
Yeah,
I
can't do
they were
anything.
hunting. I thought he was hunting for it. He was looking,
guess he's not
all over.
anymore.
Yeah, I
The,
guess not anymore.
He's
if
not
the
anymore.
Jawas can't get it, no one can.
Mm-mm.
Right.
No.
So he used an astromech droid, which was nice because that was in A New Hope. That same droid was up against R2D2. So it was like cool that would be, and he solved the problem. He analyzed the atmosphere, and he told he said, "Oh no, you can breathe it. You're good. Go." And that started the whole adventure.
Yeah. Yeah.
That whole thing
I
is
guess.
over. Like the droid
Yeah.
thing, trying to get
All right.
ID-11 back together. No, that's done.
All right. So keep in mind, we still got Moff Gideon floating around. We still got the dark saber to be. I mean, we have. That's what I'm saying. We're halfway through, right? And we have all these storylines. We have Chekhov's Gideon. We have Chekhov's dark saber. We have Chekhov's Mythosaur, right? And we
Yeah.
have literally 4 episodes to solve all
Right.
these.
Right. Right. Plus, Mando hasn't really been doing anything. You know.
Exactly. It
I mean,
just
ever
doesn't
since
seem
his
to me
rescue,
like
it's been more Bo-Katan's episodes, and for
right.
the most
He saved the kid.
Ken is so forgiving. I told you he gave episode 9 a 10 out of 10, 100%.
He did say the Ken. Hey,
He
they
saved
saved the kid. Yeah.
Ragnar.
Mm,
Well,
yeah.
who names their kid Ragnar?
I mean, how do we? So, did they reveal that was his son
Not until
He
that
he
point.
said it
episode?
at the point.
They
He
did.
said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
He revealed it when he was like,
son.
when he fell off along the rock there. Yeah, he told him to thank you for saving his son. But off the bat, nobody knew the foundling was his son.
Right. Nobody
Oh,
knew. And that's how the season opened up, right? With
Right.
Ragnar being inducted into the Creed. And he knew he got schooled. He got schooled by who? Grogu.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I like the little Grogu sequence and everything, but you knew that was happening. Grogu was going to take him down. That little boy wasn't going to take Grogu down. Let him do what he needs to do and everything. So,
So Grogu didn't take the lightsaber. We're going with that. He doesn't have a lightsaber.
I don't think he needs it.
He took the chess piece, and that was it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got the chainmail and he's got the breastplate.
All right. All
Hey,
right.
at least we
And
got some
then
lightsaber action this episode. We hardly ever get lightsaber action in Mandalorian.
are we really thinking that she's going to forge a helmet for him with like the sides
No,
cut out for the ears?
nope,
Because if
nope,
so, I'm done.
nope,
I
No,
nope.
can't.
they'll have to fold down and you'll see them sticking out the bottom.
Oh my goodness
Like
gracious!
they can't do a helmet. Like I thought about that when she was like forging the metal stuff. I'm like, please,
No,
do
no.
Not
not
be a
tell me.
helmet.
They clean that up right quick. Well, he can't speak anything to know the way and everything, so and wear a helmet.
That's it. He won't. He doesn't speak. He doesn't speak the language, so he doesn't need to wear a helmet because he can't speak the creed.
He can't
And
speak.
it could be 200 years before he learns to speak, because this
Yeah.
creature is. I was even talking about this with my wife. Like, how old is Grogu right now?
Right.
How old is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Is
Nobody has
it
any
40
idea.
or 50 years old? Because we're like 40 years past Return of the Jedi, or like where are we? Where in the whole timeline? Like where are we at? And how old is Grogu in his development? He may never speak.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll speak.
I don't think. I think as soon as you have him speak, I think that's when you lose the whole aura of his cuteness.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. As soon as he's like mouthing off to people and like talking back and everything, like it's over.
He becomes Omega at that point.
Right. And you have to have the subtitles on.
Let's not have. Speaking of which, so like T Mitch said, we find out like 14 episodes in, we're really like not intended everything, but they really say at the 14th episode that they're looking for the kid, they're looking for Omega. I like the whole turnaround with Crosshairs because we're talking about Bad Batch right now. With Crosshair trying to warn warn his old partners and everything. I mean, I just thought like, his anytime he just comes on screen, his presence and everything just takes over. He's got, I mean, that character has such a presence and everything and says such little words, I'm not sure about the guy that is doing like the experiments and everything, but he's the same as the other scientists and stuff. The one that got killed at the beginning of the season, and the one that got killed in the middle of the season and everything. So here's a different one. They've the Empire is forever with their scientists and everything. They have endless scientists, to try to.
This one was a member of the.
He was a member of the New Republic.
Yeah, the New Republic.
New Republic scientist.
Oh, was he? Okay,
yeah.
okay. So
like weird. Yeah, they didn't
really?
like his, like he started doing weird stuff and like cloning, and they didn't
like it. They didn't like it, so they ostracized him. So that's why he wound up in the Empire.
He basically was like what Dr. Pershing was trying to be at the end. He was trying to like develop things and mess with cloning.
Crazy. And these come on at the same time as Mandalorian. That has to be some sort of strategic thing.
It was, I'm sure.
Putting us in the same setting and everything. But
so he's trying to get Omega, right? And Pershing was trying to get Grogu. So there's some connection there. Like they know at a genetic level, that's where we need to get to become truly evil. We need to exploit that somehow. So if you find the strongest living thing with the strongest DNA strand, you're going to extrapolate what you need and create a weapon. That's what the Empire is trying to do.
So I asked this question because I've been thinking about it ever since, I'm just reading articles and everything. Are we on board with them between these episodes, Bad Batch and Mandalorian, especially with Mandalorian now? Are we on board with them retroactively trying to make the sequels legit? Like,
I mean, you have
to. And trying to explain it, explain everything through like these shows.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, you have to, right? I mean, the understanding is the cloning idea is to regenerate and bring back the story that Palpatine survived the fall, right? So this is what all this is them trying to find a way for him to have a sustainable body, which is what Episode 9 was when they were at that off-world facility in the outer regions, right? That was what they had left of cloning after everything else. So, I mean, I guess it's them trying to, as you said, DP, trying to like clean up certain aspects or make it.
It's what Filoni does best. So I guess I'm on board with it. It's just how how derided portions of the sequel are, and Disney is trying to move themselves away from it. Movie wise and everything, but the shows that they really depend on are moving towards it. So it's just funny how they're doing that. I totally missed because on YouTube I sent you guys like the thing on our message on our little message thing about when Poe said somehow Palpatine returns. So I guess that's a pretty big meme or whatever. Somehow Palpatine returns. Like what kind of line is that? How you write a line with that with no type of exclamation or whatsoever? And this is basically the reason
the backup story
return.
Yeah. This is the prelude, the prequel to Palpatine's return. Somehow, this is the somehow.
Somehow Palpatine returns, and the way he says it, somehow Palpatine returns. Like in a movie, you're like,
as your rating went down even more. Look at you guys. See, when
how do you get away with that? How do you not explain how this guy returns in the movie? Are you really trolling your audience that much? Where we'll just explain it in the animated and live action stuff. We won't explain it in the movie.
Just accept it. And if the special effects are good and you can believe it, who cares?
Just clean it up. Clean it up.
So there were multiple. If Palpatine had already cloned himself, and there were already multiple, like what do they call, like experiments or multiple hosts that he had already developed, then what's to say one of them didn't just pop to life?
Hey, I'm good. Like if they clean it up like they did with Clone Wars between like Attack of the Clones and like Revenge of the Sith, I'm good. I'm good. You know, you give me a good story and explanation and everything. You're I don't think you're really going to make the sequels appear that much better, but just make it more sense. You know,
Right, yeah.
the
No,
sequels are what they are and everything, but to make it more sense and everything with good plot and good storyline and everything, I'm cool with it. I'm good. It was just a question to ask and everything, you know.
oh no.
Um,
It's definitely a good point, and
I mean,
yeah, I ask
they
the
don't
same thing
even
all the
talk
time.
about. I haven't even heard the name Palpatine. They call him Emperor, but who knows who that is at that
yeah,
time?
yeah,
The only time he's really do we see him as Emperor, like Palpatine. There were a couple times in the beginning of There was once in the beginning of Bad Batch where we saw him, and then it was. I mean, it's very seldom. So I don't even know if they're even going that way. But I did like to see my boy Tarkin
yeah.
back in the mix.
Back
Right.
in the mix.
Back in the mix, and
Taking
he was
orders
like,
from.
he gives the orders.
He gives the order. Yeah.
And that's why I like this guy. Because even if you read his book, which I checked out from the library and read, he's got nothing but solid values to move forward on. He's a very strict military brain. I mean, he has nothing but good intentions for what he believes in.
Yeah.
He's not
Besides
scattered.
being evil.
Okay, so
He was
working for that side, but if he was working for the Alliance or the Rebellion, he'd be
yeah.
doing the same thing. He just
It's
has
like Dr. Pershing, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's I guess whoever holds like gives the most money, you play for that team and everything, you know.
he wasn't even that. It was
Yeah.
he was from his family sort of they kind of pushed him in that direction. But he's not a bad guy. He's not like sitting in his bedroom thinking of ways to like torture people, but he is looking at ways to complete missions, to get to a goal. And I think he believes in the beginning, I think he truly believes that he's helping to protect and bring peace to the galaxy. I believe that. When you listen to his words, he really has the best of intentions. And still, he's the only human that can tell Darth Vader to shut up.
Yeah. I mean, that's like how to, and when you start indoctrinating people and everything, you get them to believe like with the best intentions, even if it may hurt people or whatever at that point in time. They start believing certain things that they feel that has to be done in order to get the greater good. They
Right.
use in terms like greater good. This is what's best for that. But in the meantime, what you're really saying is that I'm playing God here. This is what I think, should be done. And, I'm making a decision for all you guys because I know what's best.
Right.
You start, making rationalizing everything. And of course you're thinking, you have the best intentions for everybody. So of course he's thinking, this. So yeah, I can see that, see that perspective, with him being like, a leader.
And he's badass. I mean, because like I said, he's the only human that basically talks back to Darth Vader and survives. Now he hasn't mentioned Vader yet, which is
Right.
they're going to get to that. But I still like the character, and I like the strength, and just the very idea that he did not evacuate. Like he was like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm not leaving the ship. I'm the captain of this thing. I'm staying until the very end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was a believer.
No, I mean,
Ren Tarkin.
it is. But yeah, just like we all say though, I mean, the content hasn't been bad at all. So I don't want anybody to think that. But I mean, it's just like DP, and you've kind of came along to the same point. I mean, it's just at that point to where we're at the end of this, and there's a lot to tie up in a two-parter. I mean, we're halfway through the Mandalorian, and there are literally 3 or 4 different stories to tell still. So, I mean, I don't know. It's not
I'm
a bad thing, it's a good thing.
overall, I'm not disappointed. I'm
Oh no,
disappointed.
not that.
in the
I wouldn't say
bad batch,
disappointed.
um, um, the way they structured their episodes this season.
Yeah,
Could have had a whole lot.
Mandalorian gets a pass for sure.
I would have liked a lot more clone oriented stuff and like how the clones dealt with the transition. I would have loved like this to see that whole storyline, how they're getting phased out and how they feel about getting the boot and everything. Even if it wasn't even if we didn't see our main heroes as much, that part of the story and everything would have been a lot more interesting versus the mission of the week, status and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what decisions Disney has to make just to keep things on and everything, but I would have preferred it a different way, but they went a different direction. And
It was
now
more. They made it more. I think when we led with it on our, I think it was more adult oriented. I think this season was a lot more family oriented. The Omega, the kind of like that lesson about friendship and whatnot. So it was more of a family, more of a family tale. So I think they kind of went a little bit away from that more like aggressive kind of special unit we thought the Bad Batch would be, and kind of made it
right,
to be a little more of a family oriented show because that first season was pretty aggressive, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I thought this one was a step back to maybe draw in a younger audience. But like you said, I just wanted to see more, and they keep hinting towards it. Even in this episode, like they're kidnapping clones. Okay, so we want to know like where you're killing them. Like that's what we want to know, and then we're not. It seems like we're not getting there. We're not going to get there.
Well, they're not killing them. They're reprogramming them. That's what that doctor was saying. He said, "Let me take care of it. I
Yeah,
can."
well, that's if they get to him. If not, I think they're just decommissioning him. I think it's like the reverse order 66. They're
You
starting to
think they're just
decommission the clones.
you think they're executing them?
Yeah,
What
I
is
think
the such 88 that they said? What is that about? Um,
that's decommissioning clones.
that's what it's called. I forgot.
Yeah,
Say
it's
some
like a
88.
rever- it's
That's
like a reverse order 66. Yeah, it's basically that's why that's what the whole thing about that drive was. Is he's like they're taking clones and they're not really reprogramming them. They're decommissioning them into. And that
Maybe
leads into the and that
I
leads into
saw
the
it.
first that leads into the first order because the first order remember are kidnapped children and a lot of them are trying to be force sensitive, so that's kind of where they're decommissioned from the clones back into the humans and or humanoid type species. So that's that adjustment period again we're getting into. So it's trying to tie things together, whether it'll be like you know it's weird. It's a lot.
I
It's a
guess
lot.
I misread that because I thought that was a what they were doing is this advanced science group, whatever they were
Yeah.
assigning these clones to. I felt like they were trying to take what was there and turn them around, turn them over into stormtroopers, with that a mind flare
Whatever
or
that is, yeah,
some
that
yeah.
sort of
that
Um,
serum stuff he's shooting in his neck, yeah, whatever
yeah,
that is.
something like turn them into. So now you think this way. Now you're going to think this way, and we can do this because you're clones and you can be manipulated, and we know what the DNA. But we need that kid. We need that kid first, because it is the missing link to whatever they're trying to do. Like whatever their master plan is, Omega is the missing link. And once we get her DNA, we're now going to be able to just churn out troopers, stormtroopers,
yeah.
dark troopers, TIE fighter pilots, TIE fighter bomber pilots. We're going to be able to turn these tools out much quicker than we are right now, because right now we're just torturing them into submission.
Well, I think that's his goal though, is get like kind of like you're saying, the perfect clone that then he can manipulate with that serum, right? So it's like instead of using a chip, he's going to be able to control. He has a different way of manipulating them and basically controlling them, the army, a new clone army. So yeah, it's kind of like both twofolds because I see what you're saying and that makes sense that he does want her to maybe make a new army, but that begs us to differ. We know it doesn't happen, and then ultimately we have 2 episodes left. So the question becomes: is do they make a third season? Or do you want a third season?
Yes.
I would want a third season if they went a different direction. Yes, absolutely. If they keep on the same direction that they did this season, no.
I'll watch it anyway.
I will probably watch it anyway. But
You'd watch it.
Less
of course we're gonna
episodes,
watch it.
more you got to give us more story than just the mission of the week and everything.
Right.
I think they've gotten a lot of complaints about that, versus what we got in the beginning, or unless they just want to do something totally different, not Bad Batch, but just keep it in the Filoni stuff. I mean, I'm down with that. I don't know what it could be, but this is basically it's a spinoff of like the Clone Wars,
right?
And Rebels and everything, and we're finding more about the Empire's late stages and like the clones and stuff. But yeah, I would want a third season. I'm always down for more Star Wars content.
Oh, of course. Of course, we gotta keep it going. I mean, we have Ahsoka coming up soon. I mean, there's definitely a lot. There's the Skeleton Crew coming out, so that'll be.
And we don't know where those are going.
Yeah.
We don't know what the storylines are and how they might maybe answer some of these questions that we're asking for. So, everyone, be patient, be calm.
You can't be patient in these day and times, Ken. Not in the internet.
Dude, all we have is patience.
We want their answers now.
Right.
Mitch wants it now.
Well, hey,
gotta give them more than 29 minutes.
Now. I'm going to see John Wick tomorrow. I damn sure know it's not going to be 29 minutes. It's actually like 3 hours. Yeah, it's going to be. It's like 3.5, 4 hours. It's like 3 hours. John Wick is going to be long, but that's.
That must be. I've never seen any of the John Wick movies. I was like, I gotta start watching it because
they're sick.
Like doing this thing.
John Wick.
Keanu Reeves is a great actor, and he can make something crappy good.
He was tipped to join the Star Wars universe if they went the Old Republic route. There's been like deep fakes of him being like Darth Revan and whatnot. So, it was like something they wanted to do. It probably never happened. Kind of like the whole Sebastian Stan, Luke Skywalker thing.
Maybe he should have been Ben Solo.
Maybe. I mean, that's a good shout. I mean, but Adam Driver's been open to coming back. So, I mean, that's kind of been the discussion and the Lucas storyboards is Daisy Ridley's open to working again, somehow continuing the story after 8 and doing something different, cleaning it up, so to speak. So, Celebrations is coming up in Europe. I mean, that'll be there. We have May the 5th coming up. I mean, there'll be a reveal there. So there's still some.
I think they're going to announce a Star Wars movie at that time.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's about that time.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, and that'll give us a reason to react, right? Another reason to react.
And when we get all Carson stops, they lost like Damon Lindelof and like some other writers and everything. I was looking for the Damon Lindelof thing because I always loved his stuff with like Watchmen and Lost and everything.
Yeah.
But to hear he's not really doing the Star Wars thing, it's like, oh, jeez.
It comes down to funding. We talked about it. They got to, like I said, less than a month, they had to find, and this investors call a way to save $5 billion in a month, which is absurd. It's crazy to me, but it has to happen, right? So.
It's at the end of the day, it's a business,
It is.
You and can't they can't survive off Disney. Disney can't survive.
No, unfortunately, we don't make enough. No, we don't make enough. I'd love it for it to happen, but yeah, for sure. Any final thoughts this week, guys, before we head out and lead into episode 5 and part 1 of the Bad Batch season 2 finale?
Yeah, I can't wait for the season finale next week of Bad Batch. I'm looking forward to seeing how they end this off and everything. Wish they could have did a lot more crossover episodes throughout the season, but I'm fine with whatever they end off with, and hopefully we do get a third season. More Mandalore content for Mandalorian. I want them to go that direction, but I'm still digging this season so far.
Sure. What about you, Ken? I know everything's shoots and ladders, right?
Yeah. Everything's great. Everything's just roses. So yeah, I do agree that the Bad Batch season definitely needs to get back on the rails, but I think this episode did reset
It did.
So as long as they continue this storyline and get rid of Sid, because I'm not interested anymore.
No, not
And
at all.
I don't care about the Opie people, the planet that they're living on now. That's interesting because it's a planet very
that
similar.
was good for one episode.
Yeah, that was
Let's get
good
off.
for one episode. Here's a planet that's again on the outer rim. No one's paying it no mind, and it might be a good place for them to build a base or a safe haven. But yeah, can't wait to see what they do. Mandalorian is just my favorite. I gotta find that soundtrack. I think Walmart has it, so I might buy it on vinyl because
Yeah, I think Walmart does have it. I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
like it's legit. So keep that going. The music's good. Ludwig von Hofbring, or what his name is, Goffbring. Yeah, I like that guy.
No. And I second you guys. You know, Bad Batch was been cool, but I want to get back to the Bad Batch. I need more like. I mean, the Omega's the key. Omega's the story. Let's continue that, and that's kind of. I mean, it's okay to have these side missions every now and then, but like whole like running for Sid, and then you're like running from her, and now you're rebuilding a society. I mean, I just want, and then we didn't get enough Crosshair Echoes kind of in and out. Like, just get them doing more clone things because as we know, that this is the kind of the end of the clones, right? So we kind of want to bring them full circle and give them their flowers at the end of the day, right? I mean, it's kind of like I just don't want them to go out in a whimper. So I can see I'd like to see a season 3 and really do a proper send off. I hope these last two won't be their send off. So I'd like to see redemption, so to speak, and give them another season. And then the same thing with Mando. Mando's Mando. Wasn't long enough, but it's still great. Just I'm sure the next episode we'll see. I think Filoni actually does the next episode. Probably gonna be like 40, 50 minutes. So back on
Carl
track.
Weathers directed this one.
Right.
That was weird,
I saw that.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, yeah, it was.
This is
Like episode. So. Yeah, I mean it's Mandalore. So we'll get back to that. And Commander Chris left us a message here. So what's up, Commander Chris? Thanks for tuning in.
All right, appreciate Commander Chris in the house. He said, "What's up?"
Appreciate you. Yep, appreciate you listening. But
what's the red Mando suit? Is that what is that? It has it that he has as its thing.
That might be an edit. That's probably an edit because they all wear black. Dope. Yeah, they all wear black now. It's pretty sweet though. He has some RGBs for the Gen Zers out there. RGB lights in his helmet. But yeah, Ken, I don't know if you got it. I sent you that link for that kind of like that.
I already got it on order, so thanks. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks for spending my money.
No problem. Not a problem at all. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in this week, and then next week we'll finish this up and hopefully get a better reaction from me on Mandalorian.
I hope so.
Runtime, not the show, runtime. But until next week, guys, this is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. Commander Chris, you said it's a figure. Okay, all right, cool. That's dope. That's dope, buddy. All right, this is the way, guys. Peace out.
Peace.